Welcome and thanks for joining this short micro-learning session on logistics challenges in global supply chains. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore why supply chains matter, the major obstacles they face, how technology and sustainability are reshaping them, and what the future might hold. Sit back as we unpack practical insights and real-world examples to make these ideas easy to follow. This slide outlines what we'll cover in this module: an introduction to global supply chains, the main logistics challenges, technology and innovation, sustainability strategies, case studies, and a future outlook. Think of this as the roadmap for our discussion so you always know where we are and what's coming next as we move through each topic. To begin, let's define what a global supply chain really is and why it's important. At its core, it's the network of suppliers, manufacturers, transporters and distributors that move products from raw materials to customers. And understanding that flow helps explain how goods reach markets, affect economies, and shape consumer access around the world. When we talk about the key components of supply chains, picture suppliers, manufacturers, warehouses, and logistics providers working together to keep goods moving efficiently. The right image is a busy warehouse and a bustling port, reminding us that these links enable international trade and impact everything from pricing to product availability. So coordination across each part is essential for smooth global commerce. Supply chains haven't always been global and digital. Historically, they evolved from local production and simple distribution to complex international networks. And recent technological advances like automation and data analytics have accelerated that shift, improving efficiency while also introducing new dependencies and challenges that managers must navigate. Current trends show two big forces at work: digital transformation and a growing focus on sustainability. Technology such as IoT and artificial intelligence is boosting visibility, speed, and agility, while environmental concerns are pushing companies to reduce emissions and adopt greener practices. Balancing operational gains with long-term planetary responsibility. Now we move into the main logistics challenges that companies face every day, from moving goods across long distances to meeting ever-changing regulations and managing unexpected disruptions. This section digs into the practical barriers that slow deliveries, raise costs, and force supply chain teams to rethink how they plan and respond. Transportation is a backbone of logistics, but it brings real problems when infrastructure is outdated or fuel prices spike. Poor roads, congested ports, and limited rail capacity cause delays and inefficiency. And when fuel costs rise, they quickly squeeze margins, forcing shippers to delay shipments, reroute containers, or raise prices to keep operations viable. Operating across borders means navigating a patchwork of international regulations, each with its own documentation, safety standards, and tariff rules. Complex customs processes and sudden regulatory changes can slow shipments and increase costs, so logistics teams must stay informed and build compliance into planning to avoid fines and holdups. Risk management is about preparing for the unexpected, from supplier failures and strikes to natural disasters and geopolitical tensions. These events can halt flows of goods almost instantly, so companies need contingency plans, diversified suppliers, and clear crisis protocols to maintain continuity and reduce the chance of long-term damage. Technology and innovation are transforming how logistics problems are solved, and this section looks at the tools making the biggest impact, from automation in warehouses to blockchain for traceability. Tech is helping companies run faster, smarter, and with better visibility, although it also requires new skills and investments to deploy effectively. Automation and robotics are speeding up warehouse handling, reducing error rates and lowering labor costs, while blockchain is improving transparency and traceability across supply chains by creating secure, shared records. Together, these technologies streamline operations, strengthen trust between partners, and make it easier to trace items back through each step of production and transport. Transportation is also being reimagined with electric and autonomous vehicles cutting emissions and improving safety, and drones opening new options for fast, last-mile delivery in remote or congested areas. These innovations promise lower operating costs and better access, but they also need new infrastructure, regulations, and public acceptance to scale successfully. Data analytics is the invisible engine behind smarter decision-making, using predictive models to forecast demand, optimize inventory, and improve customer satisfaction. Big data combines many sources to give logistics teams timely insights, helping to reduce stockouts, minimize excess inventory, and shape more resilient and responsive supply chain strategies. Supply chain sustainability is about reducing environmental harm while keeping goods flowing efficiently, and it's increasingly a core business priority. This section explores how companies can lower emissions, manage waste, and redesign processes to be more resource efficient, all while meeting regulatory expectations and consumer demand for greener products. Reducing carbon footprints involves strategies like shifting to energy-efficient transportation and using renewable energy in operations, while waste management focuses on reuse, recycling, and better packaging design. Together, these approaches help companies minimize environmental impact, cut costs over time, and meet stakeholder expectations for responsible supply chain practices. Ethical sourcing asks companies to consider people as well as the planet, ensuring fair trade practices and safe labor conditions throughout supply chains. That means paying attention to worker rights, fair compensation, and responsible procurement, especially when sourcing from developing regions, so supply chains support sustainable livelihoods and protect brand reputation. Circular economy models encourage designing products and processes for longevity, repairability, and recycling, rather than single-use disposal. By keeping materials in use longer and recovering value from end-of-life products, companies can reduce waste and costs, though implementing circular systems requires new business models and consumer participation. Now we'll look at real-world examples showing how theory turns into practice, highlighting both successful strategies and costly failures, so we can learn practical lessons. These case studies illustrate how different approaches play out in complex global operations and what managers can take away to improve their own supply chains. Two well-known examples show how scale and technology can deliver efficiency. Amazon's fulfillment network uses advanced automation and tight logistics orchestration to speed deliveries, while Walmart relies on data analytics and real-time inventory control to keep costs low and shelves stocked, demonstrating the power of investment in systems and processes. Not every strategy succeeds, and failures teach important lessons. Boeing's 737 MAX supply chain problems highlighted the dangers of quality lapses and weak oversight, while the Hanjin shipping bankruptcy exposed vulnerabilities when global carriers overextend financially. Both cases underline the need for rigorous controls, financial resilience, and careful risk assessment. The COVID-19 pandemic created widespread supply chain disruptions that affected production, shipping, and global trade dynamics, revealing how fragile some networks were. At the same time, companies adapted by diversifying suppliers, increasing inventory buffers, and rethinking logistics strategies, learning rapidly how to operate in a more uncertain world. Looking ahead, the future outlook focuses on how supply chains will continue to change as technology, trade patterns, and sustainability priorities evolve. In this final section, we'll explore emerging trends, forthcoming challenges, and the capabilities organizations will need to stay competitive and resilient in a rapidly shifting landscape. Emerging trends include explosive e-commerce growth that drives demand for faster, more flexible delivery, and reshoring or nearshoring moves that bring production closer to end markets to reduce risk. Both trends reshape logistics footprints and require new strategies for inventory, transportation, and customer service. Two major challenges ahead are cybersecurity and the need for greater supply chain resilience. As operations digitize, vulnerabilities to data breaches and cyber attacks increase, while global disruptions remind companies they must build adaptable systems that can maintain delivery and resource availability under pressure. To wrap up, remember the key points. Global supply chains are complex networks shaped by technology, regulation, and sustainability pressures. Challenges include transportation limits, compliance, and disruption risks, and solutions require investment in data, automation, and resilient practices. Staying informed and agile will be essential for future success. Thank you for watching this micro-learning session on logistics challenges in global supply chains. If you found this useful, please like and subscribe for more content. And feel free to revisit any section to reinforce your understanding as you continue exploring these important topics.